Hey everyone, today there's just some things I want us to get settled in our minds, and I want to start with Romans 5:8. It says, "But God commended his love toward us in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." We know that there's nothing we can do to earn that love of God. There's nothing we can do to earn salvation. We can't work for it. We can't buy it with money. We just have to freely accept what he did for us. But then down in verse 10 it says, "For if, while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his Son, how much more, being reconciled, shall we be saved by his life?" Sometimes I think we get a few things backwards. We knew when we accepted Jesus that we couldn't earn it. We just freely accepted it as a free gift of God. But as we go along on our Christian walk, I think sometimes we get a little confused. We get, I don't know, maybe the devil's just, he always tries to trip us up, but these confusing thoughts come in that make me feel like I have to earn it. I have to earn his love every day by doing good things and working so hard. But let me tell you, it says, he loved us when we were yet sinners, when we were enemies, how much more, being reconciled with him, shall we be saved by his life? So do I have to earn it on a day-to-day basis? No. We get a little backwards sometimes, that thinking, oh, if I do the right things, or if I don't sin, God will love me more today than he did yesterday. Or, oh, God's, yeah, it pleases him when we do right, but he always loves us. He always loves us. So what can separate us from his love? In Romans 8:35, it says, "Who can separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or family?" Sorry, no, famine. It is famine. Sorry, my writing. "Or nakedness or peril or sword?" And then in 35 it says, "We are more than conquerors through him that loved us." I want you to go through and read these scriptures. I'll have them in here. Romans 8:35 through 39. I'll have it written down on here for you. But it goes on to say that nothing can separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus. Absolutely nothing. And then in John 14:15, it does say, "If you love me, you'll keep my commandments." So when we love him, we should want to do the right things. We should want to choose not to sin, not to commit sins against God. And we should choose to stay on the right track. But when we mess up, does God love us less? No. Nothing, it says, can separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus. So remember, this week and every week, that no matter what you do, it's not a license to sin, no, but it just means that we need to understand how very much he loves us. It's not like a love between, we kind of humanize God's love. It's not a love between me and my husband, or a love between me and my children. It's far greater than that. Sometimes we hold people in conditional love, if they're, I don't know, they're just doing stupid things, we kind of fall out of love with those people. But that's not how God is. He says there is nothing that can separate you from his love. So when you're sitting around this week and you're thinking you have to earn, maybe he'll be, love me a little bit more if I do this or if I do that, you can't earn it. He loves you with an everlasting love, with his immeasurable love. So keep studying about his love. Read these verses, get them in your spirit, and have a good week.